Hello, welcome to Comics Without Capes, where I chat about comics without superheroes. Today I wanted to chat about Ghost World by Daniel Clowes because I just read this book and I am so conflicted about how I feel. The more that I think about it, the more that I appreciate it, but I also hated reading it. It's only 80 pages long, and those 80 pages felt so long and painful for me. This is kind of a spoilery video just because I'm going to be talking about my takeaways and feelings about things. So if you've never read this book, maybe don't watch this video. So this book was, I guess, semi-autobiographical, which I didn't realize until I was planning this video and looking a few things up. I guess Enid Coleslaw is an anagram for Daniel Clowes. So I was like, oh, okay. That explains the really weird name. And I don't know how autobiographical this book is, but I definitely was not going into it knowing that at all. I think the reason I feel so conflicted is there's so much about this book that I felt like I should relate to. I felt like I should but the characters were so hard for me to be around in this book that I really despised reading it. I felt like I was just dreading, I think I read it in 2 sittings, and the second part that I read, I was just dreading reading it. I was like, I want to finish this, but I don't want to actually read it. It just felt like a really long slog for 80 pages. And I realized, I think a part of this is how I get drained just being around people similar to Enid and Rebecca in my real life. So I really do notice that if I'm around somebody who is very superficially judgy based on somebody's looks or things that I really don't put much stock in, that really drains me. It is really hard for me to be around. And this book was that to the max. They're just judgy, they're just mean to other people, they're making other people the butt of their jokes. I just hated that so much because it's basically people that I try to avoid in real life. It's not that I didn't appreciate what the book was doing, but the way that the book did it, I felt like there was a point where you're oh, okay, this is going to be the redeeming factor of oh, I hate myself. Oh, that's why I'm such an asshole. And it's it didn't feel fleshed out. I don't know. There was just something where that did not satisfy enough for me to be oh yeah, that totally excuses and makes me want to read more about you. I just don't care enough. It's been compared to The Catcher in the Rye, and I can totally see why. And Catcher in the Rye is another book that is kind of divisive, and people either love it or hate it, and they do have a very angsty main character in that book as well. So it makes sense, I think, my feelings that I was having about this character and about this book, but it did get me reflecting on things, and it did get me thinking about things. So in a way, there's that aspect of the book that I appreciated. I even basically went through the whole book again as I was trying to figure out my thoughts on this book. And it's one of those things that I, through reading this and recognizing oh yeah, no, it's people like that do really drain me. Being around people who are judgy like that really does drain me. However, it also got me to reflect on how I am judgy. I am judgy also, but I'm just judgy in different ways. The things that I judge on are more character-based. If it's, I judge people more based on do you seem like an asshole or not? And not everybody is that way, right? We all have different things that we prioritize, different things that we are looking out for in the world. Yeah, it did get me reflecting on that and how I'm not really that much better judgment-wise compared to other people. It's just we have different types of judginess. The things that I care about were very different from what these characters care about or seem to care about. And so it was there was just this disconnect, and I did not feel like I vibed with the characters at all. They're the girls that I never want to be around. It's just basically what these characters are like. I think another part is also that I've been kind of spoiled in the stuff that I have been reading, where it's been about a lot more like serious subjects, or it's been a lot more deep feeling, and like a lot less of this like superficial kind of character level. And so I've just like been used to like things that really make me feel a lot. And this book made me feel a lot of just frustration and ick versus feeling like a lot of like reflection or whatever. Like it gave me different feels, and I don't know if I like the feels. It almost felt like the end, like when the characters are like kind of developing, they're kind of growing apart a little bit. I still didn't really care enough. I think just because like yeah, I don't know if it's just like that it didn't show me quite enough. Like maybe if I just had like a little bit more to be like, okay, these characters like feel more developed. They felt so flat to me in their like archetype kind of vibe. I don't know. I didn't really feel like they felt like real enough to me, even though I can relate to being around people with that energy. I don't know if it's just the way that they talk. And I don't know, there's like an aspect of it where I'm like, I almost feel like the fact that these girls were written by a dude, it kind of shows, like a little bit. Yeah, I feel like there's so much that's so close to hitting for me, and it just did not quite work for me. I wish I could say exactly what it is beyond that I hated the characters, and that it felt a little superficial to me. It felt a little bit fake to me. It felt a little bit like it wasn't how girls actually talk. And mind you, there's been like years between when these girls were written and when I was that same age. And obviously there's differences in who people are around and stuff like that. And some people maybe really do relate to that. So I'm curious to hear other people's thoughts and opinions on this book. If you liked it, if you're kind of conflicted, if you related to things, if you didn't relate to it at all, if you felt like their speech was totally normal, or if like you felt like it felt a little off to you. I'm curious what your thoughts are. So let me know in the comments if you want. And thanks for joining me. Take care. Bye.